So I got green coming here. We got the red over here for the holiday special. And I got some ornaments off the tree to make a necklace. Because look, I'm one of those guys. I have not a single red shirt, not a single green shirt, not a red. Oh, I do have a red scarf now that I think about it.
Ooh, how are you not scarfing it?
'50s the new 30 holiday special 2024.
Let me do the intro.
Okay.
You're killing me. I'm putting you on the naughty list. Hey, buddy. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too.
It's good to hear your voice.
As always, it's good to see your face.
So what are we talking about today?
We're talking all things holiday, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever, Hanukkah, whatever. After recording our holiday special, we quickly realized that we didn't get to about 90% of the topics that we wanted to cover. So every so often during this episode, you will hear some sleigh bells and you will see Keelo and Josh's take on the topics that were missed. Enjoy. Your
Diwali?
Sure. Yeah, that's a
Festival of Lights.
That's a good time over there, man. Those people with the lights and the thing, they do it up. It's fun.
I've never participated.
You know what? Fun. It's fun. And you could say, holidays are a little different nowadays than when we were kids. But I'm still about the fun. Like, I'm still about the lights, and you go to where there's Christmas markets popping up everywhere, and there's that's fun. Maybe everything else, in terms of prices and inflation and all that shit's got people down. But the lights and the festivities and things, I'm all about it. I like it.
Yeah.
We don't really give each other gifts anymore in my family. We've gotten to that age, right? Where we're all just kind of like you keep your money and I'll keep my money, and rather than we'll just exchange gifts that we don't want from each other anyway and just waste the time and money and energy and all that. And it's just like, I'll keep it, but we give it to the nieces and the nephews, and they still get theirs, like their money, basically, from Aunt Laura and Uncle Dave.
Okay. Yeah. You're still giving the money. I stopped giving gifts to family members, I don't know how many years ago. I've lived far away from my family for a really long time. And I just don't participate in all the remote, I got to send all of these people presents. I don't participate in it whatsoever. The first kind of niece-nephew situation that I remember having was my half-brother having his first son. And then a few years later, he had a second child, which was also a boy. And right around that time, I got my first, I guess, good paying job. So I was now excited, I can buy the kids gifts, I don't know. I think my upbringing was much more one of survival, but the holidays were really tough on my mom as a single mom, trying to do presents and do the whole thing. And she did, the material things were there, and I don't know how she did it, because she didn't have the income to do it. There was always tons and tons of presents. But this time of the year, even though I'm so far removed from being a child, growing up in this time of year, all I feel when I go to the store, if I go out in public during this time of year, I'm my emotional antenna are up, and they're just picking up all of the stress, everybody in line who's
yeah, Jambo.
I pick up all the stress. It just feels terrible.
Yeah, but for your own kids though, how does that work?
Well, I don't go all out. It's not like we're gonna have some massive extravaganza with the kids, but we do. I mean, we get the kids presents, of course, but that's my focus. My wife and I don't even really think about what are we going to get each other as some big holiday gift. We stopped somewhere around having kid 2,
Mm-hmm.
like we don't really focus on like, oh, I'm giving, oh, here's what, like if my friends, okay, so I'll just confess, like I haven't bought my wife a single thing. I don't, there's not a thing this Christmas that my wife is getting at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, Santa is not supposed to get too much credit in this house.
Santa comes or he doesn't come?
Santa comes, but all Santa does is put stuff in the stockings.
Oh, wow.
Santa just drops off like the little business.
So the
The big
elves,
gifts, the kids are supposed to understand mom and dad worked hard for that. And you better goddamn appreciate it.
does he eat cookies and milk?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay,
Usually,
so he does
unless
that.
he's too busy. But that is the thing. But there isn't like a hard ritual where the cookies are necessarily always going to be put out there. Because I think my kids aren't as in tune with that as like the core ritual,
Yeah.
Plus, they're also kind of like, hey, fuck you, Santa. Like, all you did was fill my stockings. Why am I going to make you fucking cookies?
my wife and I, yeah, we talk about this. Like we'll say like, oh, let's not go all out, get each other stuff and spend too much or overthink it or whatever. But then we like Christmas and we like doing this every year. We tend to, we say one thing and then we end up doing another kind of thing. Because it's fun. Again, I'm back to the fun, and it's not even expensive. It can be stupid things. It can be something that's $2, $5, whatever, just little things that I'll go and I'll wrap up. And a lot of times the bag is more expensive than the fucking gift. Like, you know what I mean? I got the tissue paper and I got the bag that costs $2 and I'm throwing some $1 thing inside of it because it's funny or it's something to open and it's just something to laugh about.
What are you like? Do you get your gifts at the dollar store?
You know what? We've done that.
You said that the bag was like $2 and the thing inside the bag was less money.
Yeah. There's been times where that's happened. Yes, but it's fun. It makes it fun. And then let's pile up around the tree. And I grew up with that. My mom, same as your mom. My mom was a single mom of 3 and didn't have a lot of money, but yet somehow she managed every Christmas to have a fuck ton of presents around the tree, and they would grow and they'd grow. And I would go and I'd dig through them and I'd look, and, because it's my brother and my sister, so there's 3 of us, which obviously, so when there's 3 kids, you're going to have it, it's piling up. But then it's like you go and you start looking at everyone and it's like, oh, this isn't mine. This is my brother's, right? And throw it off to the side. This is Lisa's. So I throw it off to the side. But then you'd see, oh, here's one for me. And then it's like, oh, from Santa Claus, and I'd be like, I don't understand that. I don't understand how Santa brought the present like 2 weeks early and it's under the tree, whatever, Actually, you know what? I take that back. My mom would say she'd put like from mom. Santa's actually didn't show up until Christmas morning. That's right.
Yeah. They know. There's a method parents have to follow. They have to kind of figure out what they're going to drop off and what Santa's. They got to leave room for Santa, and they have to coordinate a little bit with Santa too to make sure that they're not double gifting. Right? You don't want to do the same thing. Like mom, dad, whoever can't give you the same thing that Santa's going to bring later. So I don't know how parents have done this.
Because Santa brought me the remote control car, but somehow mom knew to get me the batteries. You know what I mean? It's like, well, how did...
It seems like there'd be coordination. Like,
yeah, but my mom always pulled it off. But it did get more and more difficult as I started getting older. Obviously, I started becoming a little more curious about things, and you start to not actively search the house.
Oh, I did.
But, but there's like, okay, I'm playing in my sister's room, right? And I dive under the bed or I want to put something under the bed and have it crawl out from under the bed, like a little toy or something, right? And then you open up the bed skirt and it's like, well, what's that guitar laying there? Right? And then it's like, well, what am I going to do? Act like I didn't see it and run away? You know what I mean? No, I'm sorry, mom. Sorry, mom. And I pull that guitar out and I look at it and I'm like, okay, so there's a guitar. There's no name, no tag, no nothing, because it's just kicking it there, right? Because it was hiding until Christmas. Not the best hiding spot in the world, mom. Sorry. But but yeah, once that kind of stuff started to happen, it was like, okay, well, where else is there stuff kind of hiding out, And
Oh
then I would
yeah, you got to
actually,
loot the shack.
but I wouldn't open them necessarily. If I found one, I wouldn't like. Some kids get like that, right? They're like
Oh,
opening up
I did.
slowly, and they're pulling out the thing, making sure they can put it back and tape it back. So where it was
Oh, I
never.
did. I well, no, it wasn't like these were pre-wrapped presents. They were just in the original packaging from the store.
So, what how long do you remember when you stopped believing? Oh shit! See, I'm gonna
What?
ruin it
No,
for
no, what,
you.
what are you doing?
Ruining it for. Okay, I'll cut it out. I will cut this out. So
Can't go there. Can't
yeah,
go there.
okay. So one time
Not even a short.
I went. My mom. Okay, my mom used to take my brother and I to and my sister. We'd go to Toys R Us once in a while. Remember how awesome Toys R Us was when we
It
were
was
kids?
so awesome.
It
It
was
was the
like
greatest
the
thing in the
greatest
world.
thing in the world. Even if you didn't leave the store with something, it was just like, oh my God, Willy Wonka, right? Or you're like Annie walking into the mansion. You just can't believe your eyes, right? So you cruise in and you're running up and down the aisles and whatever, and you didn't play with much and you didn't get to do much, but it was just so exciting that all that stuff is there. And
Yeah.
it was like, I don't know, a couple months before Christmas one year, and my mom took us to Toys R Us, and I think we had the Atari already, like back in the day, right? And she would be clever and say like, "Oh, you and your brother go look at some, Atari games and see what's there or whatever." And it was just kind of a ploy, right, to get me and my brother to go look at something and stand there long enough that she could go and do some shopping, right, and behind our backs type thing, and sneak out, put it in the car, put it in the trunk, whatever, come back, and we'd still be, none the wiser. But one year, so I didn't obey orders, and I went running from that section to another section to another whatever, and then I started looking for mom. I couldn't find mom. I go running up to the front register area, and she was in line, and
Talking to Santa Claus.
I saw some stuff on the conveyor belt. There was a few things there. There was a like a game, like a little bowling game. There was something else, and she looked at me, and she gave me like kind of like, you're going to get it, that kind of thing, with the gritting of the teeth. And then I knew, like, oh, turn and run back to my brother. Right. And then the whole time I'm thinking, what did I just see? Mom's, what has she got? What is going on here? Right. But then Christmas morning, because at some point I forgot. I don't know anymore, whatever. Christmas morning, I'm opening up my gifts and I'm like, hey, a bowling game. Hey, this looks very similar to the one that I remember seeing on the conveyor belt at Toys R Us at one time. Oh, wait. And I open up another one. Oh, hey, this also looks. Then I started putting two and two together, that.
Yeah. Your mom worked for Santa Claus. That's what that meant.
She had to have been an elf or something. Yeah.
I mean, Santa is a bit like, as the world our last episode, as the world population has grown, Santa he's always deputized the parents, but he has to deputize them even more, in the last 30 years. And you can't have that many elves up there, right?
True.
You just can't. You can't. So moms and dads, parents, whatever, they're out there. They're having to kind of help Santa out. And that's where the retail explosion came from,
Yes, the retail explosion. Now we can get into even 20 years ago when I was 30. We had Black Friday. There was a Black Friday. And I looked this up earlier because I was like, damn, when did Black Friday really start? Right?
Yeah.
It's actually surprising. It started in the 50s. Believe it or not, it started in the 50s. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. But did you look up the history of the term Black Friday? Is it like that's the first time in the year that a lot of these stores would be finally running in the black instead of running in the red?
It turned into, but initially it was in Philadelphia. People would go shopping after Thanksgiving, and the police would be like inundated trying to do crowd control and whatever else, and they ended up calling it and coining it Black Friday, right? So it was like 1959 or something. Oh, whatever. You can go look it up. People can, or maybe I'll post a little thing here, a little Black Friday thing. But yeah, I didn't know this. But then it's changed over the years into what you're saying. But I had no idea it was such a a thing. However, online, right? Because I work in e-commerce, and 20 years ago, online Black Friday wasn't really a thing, right? Because online shopping still wasn't really a thing, to be honest. I mean, it was still upcoming, it was a small percentage of overall sales.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they started thinking like, oh, we should have Black Friday online as well, right? Which then a few years later in 2005, Cyber Monday started, just supposed to be online, just for online Cyber Monday. Now we had Black Friday, you had, the weekend, you had Cyber Monday. Now it's Cyber 5 is what it's referred to as. And now because again, so 20 years ago, yeah, there was Black Friday, and yeah, we invented Cyber Monday at some point a couple years later, but stores were not open on Thanksgiving. That was not a thing. Nothing was open Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And things started, some store, like JCPenney's is going to be open at 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving or whatever, right? It started being that. Some people started getting, savvy and trying to open up, getting ahead of everybody else. Then it just turned into a whole shit show where it's like,
do you remember the backlash? There was a backlash about how we're like actually, what that's doing to families, just gatherings, the American worker, like in support of like rampant American consumerism, like because closed Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, like duh, right?
Yeah.
And then it became like, no, we got to open a little bit earlier. We got to open early. All right, screw it. We'll just be open all day.
Yeah. And so now it's the Cyber 5. It's all 5 days from Thursday to Monday, and so that's changed, from when we were younger kids. The family dynamic, I don't, I can remember it's mostly about football. You know what I mean? You eat your turkey dinner and your mashed potatoes and your gravy and everything else, but football's coming, or football's on during that time or whatever. And so, whether you're shopping after the eating or watching football, it was supposed to be that, retail is dead and it's only going to be online. But we go to malls here by our house and it is unbelievably packed. There's no parking. They have police that are they're directing traffic. They're parking cars in remote lots that I never even knew that you can park a car there. Right. On at work, some of my coworkers and colleagues at work, same thing. They're like, oh my God, I went to the mall this weekend. There was no parking. They had police directing traffic. There was no, and it's like, stop saying the retail is dead because it's not. Maybe margin,
you know what it is? It's
tighter or whatever, but
but there's patterns, right? There's a cyclical nature, but maybe it's not purely cyclical, but people get bored with whatever the thing is, and then they want to go back to the new thing. And what's old is new again. That's where that comes from, because people will be like, oh, I'm so tired of just buying stuff online. It's just like you sit down, there's no thought. I just click on things and I buy stuff.
Exactly.
And now that's like the mall is back, baby.
It is, man.
The mall is back.
Yeah. I was on Instagram earlier and Kristen Bell she had a little post. She's laying in bed and she's like, you know what? I got to warn everybody because they're coming hard to the hoop, driving hard at the hoop right now with the ads and things on Instagram. And she was like, so I woke up and I'm scrolling, doom scrolling or whatever. And she's like, I bought a hoverboard. I bought, you know what I mean?
What even is a hoverboard anymore?
She was like listing all these random things. She's like, I bought this. I bought this. She's like, and I didn't need any of it. I needed none of it. And they made it so easy for me just to click the button. And it's now it's on its way to my house. And she's like, and I woke up this morning not even thinking about that. And here I am. I've got a bunch, like 4 different things coming to my house, like, and because, it's crazy how things changed. There is that side of it where you can just wake up, wipe the sleep out of your eyes and, and you're scrolling through and you're buying shit in bed. Right. But then there's also the other side where it's just people are, I don't know, want to go to a place. Maybe because of COVID, everybody got locked up for so long and everybody, whatever. But
you think it's that? You think it's people were just like, I'm going to go do the thing that was forbidden for a few years?
Maybe. You know what time it is? We
haven't
done?
Is it?
We haven't done?
What is it?
Exactly. Housekeeping. So
Housekeeping.
we currently, let's see, last week at this time, we had 233. You laugh every time you laugh. 233 subscribers. And we have it on tape. It's out there. We were saying, hey, it would be wonderful if we can get to 500 by next week. Guess what?
500.
As of the start of this recording, 533. So, woo! Congratulations on hitting 500.
Merry Christmas.
Good work, buddy.
Oh, I'm going to put my
Santa
hat on.
This is what we needed from the start.
It's what like, here we go.
Okay.
I want my hair to still come through.
Yeah.
Like a Wham style, George Michael-ish.
God, he was so good. He was so talented.
He was so good.
He was
so good.
Yeah.
Here we are on the holiday special. George Michael died Christmas Day 2016.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck you, world, planet Earth.
Damn it. So we did housekeeping, but we only did the subscriber count, and then we got fucking off topic. Housekeeping. Subscriber count, 533.
Housekeeping.
533. I am very proud of us, Josh. Let me just say, I'm very proud of us. We've doubled the subscriber count in 1 week. That's impressive. Now, but the other thing was, the Snoop and Sarah counter, right? The Snoop and Sarah, it's still out there. And
has Mr. Dog contacted us yet? Or his people?
Nobody has responded still to numerous attempts from both Snoop and Sarah's people. No, but there's others. There's others out there, Josh. I'm not going to name them all right now, but there's others that have been contacted, and maybe some others have actually responded. I don't know, but none of the several you have contacted us back. That's one way of putting it. Yes, that is.
I'm sorry. Okay, all right. Let's go with your model, which is what?
That I think some have seen the message. You know what I'm saying? Some when you slide into the DMs and you can kind of see what.
Oh, you think some people actually even saw it and maybe put their eyes on this channel?
Maybe. I'm just saying it's not.
That's good. It's good to be positive. It's good to be positive. I don't really do that much, but that sounds great.
Her out. I know it. She's got a tour, some sort of bullshit world tour coming up. Big deal.
Who?
Right? Sarah, in like January or something. I don't know what she's doing. Not world tour, but she's going out in the circuit, right?
Should we go see her somewhere?
Like, but
well, she's got to be busy. I mean, she's busy.
Josh, 533 subscribers. That's a whole. You could pack a little club with 533 people, right?
Yeah, you know what? If I ever was playing a show back in my band playing days, and there was 533 people there, that'd be pretty sweet turnout. Absolutely.
Right. Especially if you get a little piece of the door, right? You get a little piece of the door, you're actually maybe breaking even on that gig. But so, okay, and I didn't realize during this week, I was floored to learn something from you. Floored. And I cannot believe that you did not know that I am as big of a TV star as I am. I how is this possible that we've gone this long in our relationship and you don't know that I was one of the extras in the New Year's Rockin' Eve Friends episode where Ross and Monica do the routine? Josh, did you ever watch Friends?
Who's the next guest, David? Who's coming on?
Oh my God.
Who's next?
No. You seriously don't know that I was on Friends.
I'd like to welcome Billy Ocean to the show.
The Ocean? What?
Huh?
That's a get in.
Caribbean Queen.
Now we're sharing the same dream, and our hearts they're beating one.
Is that?
Oh, Caribbean Queen. And get out of my dreams. and into my car. Yeah, I think that's into, right?
Into my car.
Out of my dreams. Get into my car.
So wait, no. Don't deflect. No deflecting. You didn't know I was on Friends.
I didn't know you were on Friends. I didn't know that. And would I have recognized you as an extra? Is that the idea?
No.
I should have known.
No one's gonna know. No one's gonna
Because I watched the show. Because your question was like, do you watch the show? Like as though I would have recognized you as an extra in a big New Year's Eve special or something.
Although I could argue that I was basically the fifth, sixth, how many people are friends on that show that are all sitting on the cast? 6 of them. So I was the 7th friend. You could argue I was the 7th friend or the 6th friend or the 8th friend. I don't remember it. Monica, Rachel, Ross, Joey, Chandler, and Phoebe. So there's 6 of them. So I was the 7th friend. Yeah, basically, we were like colleagues. And that's the way I look at it now. So
you were an extra for like how many days did this go on?
Well, no, just the Friends episode. But before
you were on like the lot, like the whatever lot. What lot was that shot on?
Friends was the Warner Brothers lot. So
you were out there. Where's the Warner Brothers lot? Burbank.
That's Burbank. It's Burbank, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're out on the Burbank back lot for that one day.
Yeah, an entire day of dancing. Let me say it was not fun. It was fun at first. There was a lot of extras. It was a big scene. It was a big, whatever. It was hours and hours and hours of dancing.
I would really like you to cut to the clip right now.
Okay, here comes another camera.
Right, no biggie. Stay loose.
I will.
Where it's you, but that clip, but also the dancing.
So there's more than one. So there's probably 3 minutes where I'm dancing in that show.
Well, I want to talk about the fitness aspect of your dancing, and I think you should cut to the picture of you and Isaiah, where you're shirtless.
Oh. Okay, so there's that. It's not that whole like starving actor thing. Actors that are trying to make it, and you start out as an extra, and you're trying to get your SAG card and whatnot. It is the damn like truest thing. Like these people make dick. But when I did it, which was 5 years ago, however long, right? 24 years ago.
What year was it?
99 or 2000, I think.
It was like right before we met.
I was in more than that. I did more than that. But you made, I think I was paid $13 for the day. I think back then that was the cap. Like you got as an extra, you got like $13 or something, $13.50 or whatever.
Woo!
And at the time I wasn't working. I didn't have a job, but I was doing a little day trading back then. I made a little money in the stock market. I didn't work. I didn't have to work. I was just kind of like doing things. I was like, hey, you know what?
You didn't have to work?
Not at that time. At that time,
you said I made a little money in the stock market. Sounds like you made a lot of money in the stock market because you're also saying I didn't have to work.
Okay, well, I didn't have
living
to work
in Southern California
for a year.
For a whole year.
Work anymore, and
whatever. Fuck you, David. Like I didn't have to work for a whole year. Come on, that's a lot of whatever. You must have been some pretty successful as your. Who was day trading back in 1999?
No, yeah, there was that 99, 2000, whatever. So my buddy one day called me up and said, hey.
So I took the year off so I could go be a Friends extra actor person. And then I hung out with the Friends on New Year's Eve because I didn't have to.
You want to hear the story? So my buddy calls me up. And my buddy calls me up and he says, hey, what are you doing today? He knew I wasn't working, right? So we would always go to Starbucks. Even back then, he'd call me up and my buddy thought he was like an entrepreneur. Right. So he was just a guy with basically like big dreams and ambitions and God rest his soul. But he would call me up and he'd be like, hey, let's go get some Starbucks and we'll talk about and he would just, insert some random like, not get rich quick scheme, but some sort of thing to make money in some way. Right. And it was like we had to go to Starbucks to talk about it. Right. Okay. So but during that
that's what you did to be emblematic of your big shot status. You would sit and hang out in Starbucks. That was not it wasn't as commonplace as it is today.
Anyway, So my buddy and I, he would call me up randomly out of nowhere, and he would say, "Oh, I need you to drive with me because I need to get somewhere fast, and I need to take the carpool lane, and there's no one else." He would do this all the time. So I would be like, "All right, whatever. Like as long as we can get some Starbucks, right? I'm good." So he'd pick me up. We'd go to LA or whatever, and it would be purely so we can get in the carpool lane, and he'd have an extra person, right? That would be it sometimes. And he'd have to go to court, or he'd have to pick up some document, or he'd have to do something. But one time we go, I'm in the car. I have no idea where we're going. He's like, "I'm going to be an extra. And we're going to Central Casting, which is one of the biggest casting agencies. I think it's still one of the biggest." And so at the time, I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what it was. He used to think he was a really good looking guy, which he was, not a bad looking guy, but he was an okay looking guy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, right? He had bigger dreams and aspirations though. And so he was like, "Oh, I'm going to be an extra." He's like looking in the mirror, you know what I mean? We're driving, he's looking and he's doing his hair. He's, "Oh, I'm going to do this shit." And this is probably making a lot of noise right now, but whatever. He'd be like popping his collar, right? He'd be doing that whole thing, checking himself out. He'd always do that. So we go to the Central Casting Agency. I have no idea what this is. I don't know this world. But you simply just like filled out a form. You took a picture, a headshot. They did it right there in the office. Like there's a bunch of people there. Filled out a form, paid like a little fee, took a headshot, and then we leave. And he's like, "Oh, like you get some instructions." And back then, before the internet and all that really became a thing, it was you call. There's a hotline. Every single morning you would call this certain number as an extra. And it would tell you the shows that they're looking for extras for that day. And it would say, "We need males between their 20s and 30s, that look like they play sports or whatever, right? We need females that are, over 40 that look like housewives." It'd be really random, broad descriptions of people they need.
Well, I'm picturing it like you'd call in like a radio show, and it'd be like a DJ style voice. You'd be like, "Hey, everybody, today we're looking for extras on the set of Who Gives a Crap, and you gotta look like you're hot and into sports. Who's with me? Push 3 if you want to come on down to the show."
It was that, though. You're right. It was press 1 or push in whatever code if you want to submit yourself. You would do. It's like, "Oh, yeah." And it would say, "Oh, we're looking for extras for the show of whatever," right? And
they say Friends?
So yes, I thought it was
well, everybody's pushing that button, right?
Exactly. I thought it was the coolest thing ever at that time. So picture this. I'm not working. I got a little bit of cash in my pocket, right? I'm cruising around with my buddies. I'm just living life or whatever at 24 or 5 or however old I was at the time. And it's like in the morning I'd wake up, I'd call this number, and it would be like, "Okay, thanks for your submission," or whatever, right? And somebody would look at your headshot ultimately and at your age, range, and your bio, whatever. And then they would I don't remember if you got a call back or they accepted you right then. I don't remember what it was actually, but somehow it was like, "Okay, yeah, you fit. Like be on the Warner Brothers lot, 10 a.m., 2 days from now or whatever." And whatever. Okay, great. So then it's like, oh shit. So that happened, right? Hey, go. And sad thing is, I got that one. My buddy also tried to get that one. It was his idea. It was his thing. He did not get accepted for that, and I did. So I drove my happy ass down there. I don't even think I had the heart to tell him until after it was. Because what was I supposed to do? I would have told him, he would have cock blocked me. You know what I mean? And told me not to do it, and that's messed up. So I go. I'm by myself. I have no idea what's going on. I'm an extra all of a sudden. I'm on the Warner Brothers lot. Long story short, I'm all over that dancing scene where Monica and Ross do the routine. I'm in the background over here. Then the continuity was blown. At some point, I'm on this side of the stage. I'm on this side of the thing. And it's fun at first. You're like, "Oh, this is awesome," right? There's the whole cast. Joey's there, and you know what I mean, and Monica, and everybody's there. And you're just at some point you're like, you're starstruck, but then at some point you're like, okay, like you get over it pretty quickly, right? You're not supposed to talk to them. You don't look at them.
They're there for hours and hours.
They're like concentration. They're in work mode. You're just an asshole that's just kind of there trying to, be discovered or whatever somehow. But you dance, to no music. They have what's called a thump track. It's a thump track that plays for everybody there. It's a really low bass that is low enough in the frequency that it won't get picked up on the mics, right? Or they can edit it out, right?
Oh, wow.
So it would be thump, 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 thump. And everybody they would say action, thump, thump, thump. So then we're all dancing to no music, acting like there's music. And they're doing their lines and their dialogue or whatever. You do that for
Acting.
then they have to, what's called a turnaround. They have to turn around the scene. So they would have all the cameras filming you from one side. They'd have to then break everything down, move all the cameras, film you from a different angle, do it all over again. All the same lines, all the same dance, all the same shit over again. And hours of this. It's
Acting.
brutal. You're there all day and you get paid like $13 or whatever. But I didn't care. I was just there because like, shit, this is Friends. I love Friends, right? But then I got the bug. And then it's like, well, what else can I do this for? And I used to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Mhm.
So I call one morning and it's like, oh, we're casting for Buffy the Vampire. Ding! I'm like, let me in. Fucking, I don't care. I'll play a female if I have to. I don't care. So I watch Buffy. I will try to show the clip of that one. Again, I think I might have been, I don't know. I was basically her coworker for the day. I think I might have almost bumped into her in the parking lot and freaked her out by accident. It was
What, in real life or
in real
like in
life.
in the show?
No, in real life, it was I was the kind of creepy dude that was like walking on in the lot trying to get out, and I couldn't figure out where I was going, and then I got turned the corner, and she was kind of like between two cars, and I almost like bumped into her, and I was like, oh fuck,
Sarah
it's
Michelle
Buffy.
Gellar?
Yeah. So I mean,
Gellar? And so you accidentally stalked
Yes.
the main talent of the
Mhm.
show.
but
Uh-huh.
now I can invite her to our show. See, because we're basically
Do
calling.
we know Shara SMG's age?
In her 40s, 46. I don't know. She's been in
Hold
the
on.
news lately, but I'm just saying, Josh, we're colleagues, right? I can invite her to this show. I was on her show. She can be on our show.
Mhm.
I was on Jennifer Aniston's show. Why can't
Mhm.
Jennifer Aniston be on our show? Right?
Mhm.
Or like any of them, any of the cast
Mhm.
of Friends, right? It doesn't have to be the most famous one, right?
Mhm.
We'll take any of them.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, I mean, because we're coworkers, and I'm just saying, Josh, that
Mhm.
I was on Angel,
Mhm.
which was after Buffy. So
Mhm.
Charisma Carpenter and I. Oh man, this is fascinating. I don't know if you know who Charisma Carpenter is.
I think I do.
She
I think I
was-
do.
I think on a few episodes of Buffy, but then there was a spinoff called Angel, and then she was on Angel. Whatever.
I think
She
I
was like
probably watched more episodes of Angel just because I was probably watching TV more at that part of my life. I don't know what the deal was, but I think I watched Angel probably more than
She was
and I
Cordelia.
remember Charisma.
You remember Cordelia? She was Cordelia.
I don't know characters, but Charisma Carpenter.
She was like a former like cheerleader, like a San Diego Charger cheerleader, I think, at one point in her life.
I don't know,
Nah.
but a very pretty
She's
very
she was
pretty
beautiful.
woman, right? Like really beautiful woman.
She was very beautiful, and this beautiful man that you see, I was the extra that they planted right behind her in a scene,
Mm-hmm.
sitting back to back with her for hours.
Like in a booth.
And it was one of those couches that are round and it has like that kind of cone in the middle. You seen those couches? It's a round sofa couch. with
Did you
cone.
touch backs?
Yes.
Did you touch
we
backs?
touched backs. I didn't know how to feel about this.
I don't mean that like as a football term. Is that a football term?
We've bumped. We weren't like, she wasn't resting all her weight
Like
on,
shoulder blades.
you know what I'm saying?
It's
There
shoulder
wasn't,
blade
like, we weren't
contact?
exchanging like sweat or anything. But there was bumping, not a lot of grinding, but there was a little contact,
Not a lot of grinding.
which is fun at first because it's like, oh, this is awesome. Am I going to be in this scene? Right? She was doing some sort of 3-minute dialogue. Whoever the guy she was talking to, she was going on and on and on and on, and they kept cutting and cutting and cutting, and she kept trying to edit and tweak her line. I'm back to back with her. Maybe you're going to see a little bit of me in the background. No, you don't see me at all in this thing. They're so tight on her and the douchebag she's talking to. You don't see me. But I also, after a couple hours of doing that, you're like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. I don't want to do this I want to just, can I go home? You know what I mean? I got stocks to trade. You know what I mean? But
I'm sure that's what your average extra says about every shoot. Yeah.
so
Sorry, I don't want to do this anymore. I got to go home. I got stocks to trade.
Yeah.
I don't have to work this year because I made a lot of money. I mean, I made a little money.
No, I didn't make a lot.
Just your average come to Hollywood story.
I made some good money during that time, but I lost a ton of money during the crash. When the stock market crashed, when the tech bubble burst, I lost all the money that I basically made. I lost. So there you go.
Yeah.
Right, zero. Right back to square one. Josh. David Boreanaz was Angel, right? And he was cool. He would.
But I remember her. She's, she was. I mean, she was another one of these astonishingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Women. She's 54 from what I'm seeing here.
And so again, we're basically co-workers, right? I was on her show. Why can't she come on our show?
SMG is 47, my age. She's got about 6 months on me.
Perfect.
You could get a whole reunion with your former colleagues.
Yes. This is my point. Gosh, we have an in.
You gotta look up David Boreanaz.
David Boreanaz was probably one of the cooler guys that, as an extra,
seems like that.
I did a lot of different shows during that time. He was probably one of the cooler, down to earth dudes at that time. That he walked around with the extras.
God, if I'm looking at a picture of him right now, I don't know if it's hard to tell, which ones are current pictures. But he looks like he's getting more handsome.
Yeah, he was a good looking dude.
Can that be happening? He's 55. By the way,
but that works.
55.
He's got some tails to spin, right? So again, co-workers. So I was on Ally McBeal.
Oh wow,
Lucy Liu was on Ally McBeal back then. It was Lucy Liu and I went creeping down one hallway I wasn't supposed to be in, and they came out of a door, and we almost literally, it was one of those things where you smash into each other and all the papers go onto the floor, and I have to help.
Somebody screams "Oh, you scolded me with coffee."
No, but it was I'm sorry, I'm just looking for the fucking exit. You know what I mean? I didn't know what to say when I bump into these people. But
was that always your prepared line if you accidentally rammed into a celebrity? Oh, I was just looking for the exit. I'm so sorry. Do you need help with your injuries?
On the spot, I came injuries. So the I did I don't know, it was NYPD Blue or something, one of those cop shows that was really famous at the time.
You're in so many things, you just lost track, right?
Oh,
your body of work.
There was a show called Jack and Jill with Amanda Peet, when Amanda Peet was coming up. That was a 4-day shoot. Oh, that was also the Warner Brothers lot. The Warner Brothers lot was my favorite place. That was if something was filming on the Warner Brothers lot, I was like, I want to go, because they had like a commons area where everybody went to eat, it was a cafeteria thing, and everybody kind of sat together, big stars and extras. Everybody was kind of one thing there. Rob Lowe was filming The West Wing at the time. I didn't watch The West Wing back then. I had no idea how popular The West Wing was.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch it way late. Yeah,
me too. And it's one of our favorite shows. We've watched The West Wing now all the way through.
Oh, it's a great show. Great show. Yeah,
it's one of the all-time greatest shows. I'm sorry, period. And it was on network television too, which is crazy. But Rob Lowe, there was, I think, 2 different instances where, because he would jog. He was very fit, very active. He would jog around the lot. He was filming The West Wing or whatever. I think he might have played basketball. There was a Marky Mark and
Mark Wahlberg,
George Clooney were filming a movie, the boat movie, where they're the Big Wave or something. They were on a boat.
Boat movie, The Big Wave.
Was it called The Big Wave? Yeah. So they were filming that movie at the time.
I don't think it was called The Big Wave.
Perfect Storm. Right? The Big Wave. I don't know. I simplify.
That's the cheap. That's the unpermissioned, Chinese knockoff, or it would be somebody remade their did a rough, they shot the movie on a camera in the theater, and then they sold it. They put it on DVD. And they're it's The Big Wave.
Right. But Rob Lowe probably
The Big Wave.
Rob Lowe was one of those dudes. Oh my God. Not that funny. But he was one of those dudes that was so genuinely nice.
Stepping
And-
over the Rob Lowe.
What the fuck? It is not that funny. It's just
It's the perfect storm. It's bad enough you called him Marky Mark. He's never coming on the show. First, you call him Marky Mark,
you know what?
and then you call his movie The Big Wave.
How old is he? You can look up Marky Mark's age while I'm discussing.
Rob Lowe is 60, and now I shall look up Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, but Rob Lowe, let me just say, he would say hi to me. Twice I ran or I walked. He was jogging. He's jogging past me. He would look at me,
Yeah.
smile, say hi. How are you doing? As he's jogging by, just an extra walking on the lot. And he was the only one ever that would talk to like an extra, like somebody on the, just a random dude. Well, I mean, nobody did that. No stars, no celebrities, nobody talked to an extra or something.
That's a sweet story. I think
Oh, he was cool.
you find like by the way, Mark Wahlberg is 53.
Perfect.
53.
But
But I don't think there's any possible chance that he's coming on the show now.
No,
After
I'm not a
we
coworker.
called him Marky Mark.
I'm not a
First of
colleague.
all,
I was never on his show.
Marky Mark
Yes.
in the perfect way. Okay. Thank you. That was my Christmas present.
You're
I
welcome.
think that was the best thing. That's going to sustain me through the rest of December.
You're welcome. Here, please.
Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe is one of those guys that like apparently doesn't age.
Yep.
Extraordinarily handsome.
Yep.
Human being. And like, okay, you know, he's an actor. So you expect him, he's got to stay fit, stay in shape and all that. But like, you know, you kind of want to not like these people, right? Because you're like, God, some people just got it all, right? They're talented. They're beautiful, right? And it's like, I don't want to like them because, and so you'd expect a guy like that to maybe be a bit of a jerk, you know? But like, then you find out he's like a super nice dude, like, you know, Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
you know, you're like, I mean, and it's like, I can't not like that
Oh no, the
person.
dude is beyond nice. That he's beyond,
like just genuinely nice people who are successful and have all
Yeah.
this history. Like they're like kind of, you know, Hollywood legends. I mean, Rob Lowe has a very long career. He stayed relevant for how so long.
For
I mean,
a
who can
long
do
time.
that? Who can do that?
For like 4 or 5 years or something. He's been doing. You know what I mean? Like he's been doing it for a long time.
It's amazing.
But he
Yeah, and then he's a nice guy, right? Like what the hell? Like how?
But some
does that
people
work?
are not. Some, and I won't name names and say.
I'm sure.
People
I'm
were
sure.
the stereotypical kind of like they would show up in a limo to the set. You know what I mean? And you're like, really? Like you can't.
Were you were probably like one of the only extras showing up to the set in a limo, though, right? Like
No,
after
I was.
your day trading,
No.
you were like, oh God, I'm so fucking tired from my day trading.
No,
God, Jeeves is off.
no.
Sent his cousin Steve. I gotta get in the limo with Steve. Steve is not Jeeves. It's total bullshit.
Made a
I
little.
gotta go to
money
this
back.
lot.
A little money. I didn't make millions of dollars, right? This should put this in perspective. What year it was, and then when the market crashed, I lost everything. So there was no limo for me. There was no.
Shut up! I'm vamping on my Jeeves Steve
Jesus.
routine here. So Jeeves can't make it. I'm so mad. I gotta go get on the set of Friends, and it's Steve driving today instead of Jeeves. God damn you, Jeeves! Who gets the flu on a day I need a ride? You know. I appeared in the video, a very famous music video, follow-up or sequel, if you will, to a very famous music video, 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins. I was not in 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins. I was in the sequel to 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins, which I'm sure you know already what I'm going to say, what that song was called, right, David?
1980. 1979. I don't know. No, I don't know.
Well done.
1980.
But anyway, I was in the video for Perfect. It's by Smashing Pumpkins. Perfect.
I
Look it up.
okay.
I'll give you the split second where it's possible to see that I'm in the crowd, but you can't probably see my face. But I want you to know something. I understand. I feel your pain where you're on set for hours. You're so fucking needlessly loud and like for hours and hours, and you're dancing, and it's the song, and it's the what, on and on and on, and it's like, oh my God. And they gave you earplugs, right? They were like, here, wear these. We don't want anybody suing us later. And then like I wore the earplugs, and I left, and I was like, when you go to a loud show, like maybe your hearing's a little messed up, but it like never came back in this ear, and I was like, I can't hear. Like, I almost can't hear at all. Or it actually sounds more like somebody's, when you push your, close your ear, right? And it's like, why does it sound weird? Like I'm underwater, like, why does it sound? And so I was still in college at the time, and I went to some lectures, and I was like, I can't hear. Like, I have to move closer. I can't understand what's going on in class anymore.
Was it worth it?
Huh? No, it wasn't fucking worth it.
Right.
So then I said I had to go to an ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor. And I was like, Doc, I can't hear in this ear. He's like, let me take a look. And he goes in with like some tools and shit. And he's like, oh, there's something strange in there. And he goes in with and he's like, twist. And I was like, what is he doing? And finally he pulls out like a plug, like somebody shoved a rubber, like a black rubber, I don't even know, in my ear. And all I can think of is that the earplug that I got that day must have had some extra something on it.
Came off.
That got like shoved. And I was like, I kept pushing him in because I'm like, it's so fucking loud in this asbestos fucking basement that is obviously we're going to all be sacrificed at the end of this. It's a murder scene. That's how the video ends. It's got to be a sacrificial murder scene. Nobody would do this forever. It's been 13 hours. We're dying. There's no air in here. It's just asbestos and fucking Smashing Pumpkins. So then, and then it fucked up my ear.
So long story
he finally
short,
he pulled the thing out. Oh,
long story short.
You want the condensed version?
No.
I did sit through a lot of your extra stories.
I'm saying,
that's okay.
But long story short, are you going to get your buddy Billy on the show or not?
No, I don't think we're friends. I don't.
So I listened to that whole fucking thing thinking, oh, sweet, we're going to be able to get Billy on the show. Not so much.
I don't think Billy's going to remember me.
All right. Well, it was a good story, I guess.
Okay, hold on. Forget all that. I have an apology. Can we do a public apology?
Yeah, sure.
So sorry, public apology.
Yes.
I want to apologize. I listened to that segment of episode 5, and I started off by saying, you asked me what's pink mold, and I'm like, I gather it's a form of mold that is a non-photosynthesizing,
Okay.
such and such, and I'm like, sorry, am I looking the wrong way?
No, I thought you were apologizing to me, so I was preparing for that.
David, I'm apologizing to the imaginary audience. Well, I swore I wouldn't do that. Okay, for this one moment, I want to apologize to the audience. I regret that in that segment, I had said that, I think maybe pink mold is a form of non-photosynthesizing mold. Okay. And I looked it up. No mold is photosynthesizing. Molds don't photosynthesize. They're fungi. They don't do that. Okay. But I still maintain, now I'm going to talk to David. I still maintain that my point was correct, which was that I was like, I don't think it's biologically a mold. I don't think it's biologically a mold. And it wasn't. It's a bacteria. So I was right. And you wanted to kill my segment just because I got it right.
I didn't want to kill it. You were right.
You launched the segment. You launched the segment to make a fool of me in public in front of our 500 plus subscribers. And I resent you for it. And I want so now I think you need to ask me another science question right now. Let's go. What is it? You didn't prepare another. You didn't even bother because you were like, "It's dead. The segment's dead." You decided. Who decides?
No. I
David, the God.
No.
Okay. What?
No. I'm not at all. I'm the one who thought of the segment to begin with. You're saying I'm trying to shut down a segment that I thought of. Yeah, we should apologize for misleading people about the photosynthesizing part of your science segment that probably nobody in the world paid attention to except a bunch of nerds that we don't care about.
How dare you? What do you think? Do you think, well, there's no nerds that are 50? I saw the like holiday music making thing. Like Mariah Carey took it to a level that was like, oh, wow. But people were obviously cutting Christmas songs, you know, to have that kind of annual popularity, right? And that cycle. And for a while, it was like there was always the stuff that I thought was like the traditional Christmas music that I wanted to hear that was like from the 50s and the 60s. And I was like, oh, I love this, right? I've got a friend who created a Christmas song, and it wasn't because he thought he was going to get picked up in some cycle and like, you know, and it was just, he was really honestly reflecting about how Christmas feels different as you get older. So I'm going to send you the link and you can put that up here if you don't, you know, if you don't mind, and we could maybe share that, because I think the sentiment that's expressed in this song is actually one that a lot of people can relate to. There's stuff as you grow up that you're like, wow, you know, certain things have lost their luster, and there's a magic to youth that you can't get back, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really about, you know, driving the depressing nature of the holidays for people. Because I'll tell you, a lot of us get super massively depressed at the holidays because it's heavy duty. It's heavy duty stuff, you know? I don't want to be out there like, you know, acting like you're supposed to be happy. If you're not happy at this time of year, like, you know, that's okay. That's okay. There's a lot of people who aren't happy this time of year, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to wear a fucking hat.
It was your idea.
Well, I was fine for a while, but you got me worked up.
Now your head's all hot and sweaty.
David's just worried about getting celebrities on the show, but I'm with you.
Somebody will be first. The first celebrity will be. It's like when girls always talk about guys like they just met and they're starting to date and how great they are. It's like, oh, he's so nice. He's a gentleman and he's kind and he makes me laugh.
He was an extra on Friends.
Well, not me. We're not talking about me. I'm just talking about like when a woman, you know, like, and then it's always like, and I always giggle at these things because it's like, well, yeah, but like a guy,
he's a day trader.
A guy doesn't hit you, right? A guy isn't a wife beater.
What just happened?
Until the first time he beats his wife. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying. What just happened?
I'm just saying you're not a wife beater.
Who, me?
Not you.
I know I'm not a wife. Don't accuse me of wife beating.
What kind
of Christmas special is this?
Guy wearing a
holiday special.
Some guy wearing a wife beater out there right now. He's wearing a wife beater, right?
I don't think you should even call it that anymore. I don't think that's okay anymore.
No, but it's a stereotype, and the stereotypes exist for a reason, Josh. I'm just saying he's wearing. So there's a dude out there right now, as we speak. There's wearing a wife beater. He's never beat his wife before. He's about to beat his wife and become a wife beater for the first time.
Like, why? Because he listened to our show?
No, I'm just saying.
I don't get the connection. What? I feel like we veered way off course. What happened?
That woman who used to say, oh, he's so funny and he's so charming and he's such a gentleman and he makes me laugh and he's this and he's never hit me before until he does.
But do you think that there's, who, oh, sorry, back up. The woman here in your hypothetical scenario who's like saying something to other people, right? Like a family member, a friend, right? I think you said that she said that to her friend.
Oh my God,
he's so great. He's so great. But I feel like that she's probably not at the end of that saying like, and also he's never hit me before. Like, I don't think that's part of it. Like the Grinch, you're like the Grinch who stole happiness. Like why when she was so happy telling you about her new partner, were you like, he's going to beat you someday? I hope you know that. I hope you understand you have no right to be happy and you're worthless.
I'm just saying, like, you always still have to kind of like, you know, still be a little
temper your happiness.
Yeah. And you got to still be like, okay, wait a minute. You just met this guy. You've only known
not have your expectations be so high that you think maybe your partner isn't going to beat you or cheat on
It's
you.
more the,
or
hey,
both.
you guys just started dating. You barely know this guy still. Let's not get way ahead of ourselves and say he's the greatest thing ever. Because you've only been seeing the guy for a few months. Let's give it a couple of years, right? And then you'll come back to me and let me know how things are going. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Some guys are dicks.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
effing Christmas. Merry effing Christmas.
Happy holidays.
We haven't had any guest celebrities on the cast
Yeah.
until we do. You see how that
Oh.
works? At some point, somebody's going to be on the show.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
In order for you to tie that comment and make it make sense,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to not edit out the other section where we're reviewing how your friend was excited and you really just kind of crapped all over her because it was like, hey, eventually your man is going to beat you to death. I'm
I didn't say
already
that.
decided in my mind that part is probably not going to make it into the show
How do you
because
know?
it's super dark. And so, like, in order for this to pay off, you have to include that part. Now I'm getting a little worried because I feel like that part is not. Dude, that part's a little bit much to put into the Christmas.
special?
I mean, the holiday special.
Probably is a little ambitious, but in 1 week, if we can be at
No, don't put any more numbers out. It was too stressful. It was too stressful.
50, Josh? I'm not
Huh?
gonna say
What?
1,000. I'm not doubling it. I'm not going from 533 to 1,000. That's overly ambitious.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there's some music playing in the background. I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
All right.
If I could
All right.
work in some.
Well, it's been wonderful. I guess I'll see you before Christmas. I guess we
I guess
blew
I know you're not
Christmas
getting
up.
me anything. I mean, we've already established I'm getting nothing from you. So, okay, thanks.
Wow, nothing. You get nothing from me.
Take a dump in a box, I guess. You can find the time maybe to pinch one off and go to UPS. Oh, sorry, no, that's too mind fucking blowing to go to UPS. Never mind. Don't stress.
No, can I
yourself.
just order a dump in a box off Amazon?
Oh, that's
that I
true.
can send to you.
do have-
I need your address. I don't even have that.
They do have that service.
Act like we're friends. Okay, well, this
Ow.
has been the holiday Christmas disaster. You know, just like not everybody, but lots of family gatherings
A lot.
go down in flames. In the meantime, get some sleep. Got to wake up early.
Thanks, buddy. You
You
too.
know, take care of things, and it's always good to see you.
You too.
Always good to hear your voice.
You too.
And I love you.
Love you
Talk
too,
to
buddy.
Talk to
Been
you
good.
soon. Bye.
See you in a week. See ya.
See you.